live from LLC Studio, Caloocan.
Good day, Philippines. Good day, nation. It's a welcoming day in March 2023.
This is Angelica,
And I am Yuri, serving you the hottest and the most leading news of the hour.
your news.
Our business.
For the headlines, we have your informative speech and also types of persuasive speech.
Presenting you today's reliable reporters.
Speech about objects, process, and people. We have here Josen and Eman live at Valenzuela City People's Park. Josen and Eman.
Thank you, Angelica. Good day, nation. Welcome to LC News for today, March 2023. My name is Josen. I'm here with my partner.
Good day, nation. I'm Eman and we're here to explain about types of informative speeches.
Let's discuss the different types of informative speeches, partner. Could you briefly describe the types of informative speeches? That's right, partner. Let's start about objects. Object is living or non-living things. Physical existence is anything that is real, seen, and stable.
Since we are required to explain the 3 out of 6 speeches, which is objects, process, and people. Do you know that speech of objects can be things, location, animal, and structures? For example, dog, ballpen, people's part, mall, and many more.
The process speech comes up next. A process is a series of stages or action that is result in a particular product or income. Process may involve people interacting with machines, and process of nature. Partner, can you give an example about speech of process?
For example, how a tornado develops, how papaya soap is made, how to play the piano, and how to cook adobo. Let me take this moment to explain about the topics. Speech of people. Speech about people is like speech about objects, except, of course, they should be represented as a human beings. This type of speech allowed to the speaker to describe how people look like, how they act, and how they deal with life, and they then like. Here are some examples of speeches about people. The sacrifice of Mother Teresa, the legacy of First Ferdinand Marcos, President Rodrigo Duterte, the road to the Malacanang Palace.
That will be all. Thank you for letting us explain the topic of objects, process, and people.
Hope you learned something from us.
Back to you guys.
Thank you for that informative news. Now let's proceed to the next discussion with the next set of reporters, Joyce, RV, and Jean, who will give us the headlines for their topics.
Thank you, Yuri.
Good day, nation.
Welcome to LLC News, March 2023.
My name is Joyce.
I'm Gerald,
And I am RV.
and we are here to explain the types of informative speech.
Speech about event. A speech event is defined in terms of speaking, at least in the sense of being governed by the norms relating to this. The term speech event will be restricted to activities or aspect of activities. They are directly governed by rules or norms for the use of speech. An event refers to anything that happens or is happening. Speech organization about events can be by chronology, by cause and effect, or by category. It must be subdivided consistently and logically. For example is the 2022 national election. According to POTO, the former Senator Bongbong Marcos and Davao City's Mayor Sara Duterte won the presidency and vice presidency respectively, defeating their closest rivals, former incumbent Vice President Leni Robredo and former incumbent Senator Francis Pangilinan.
Next is speech about issues. It is the most important issues that we face. They affect our day-to-day lives and they can be a heavy burden on our mental health. Based on my own knowledge, it focuses on the issues happening in our world, even our own problems. For example is jeepney phase out. As you can see the photo example, some jeepney drivers and commuters are held a rally against the jeepney phase out. For our own understanding, we are disagreeing in jeepney phase out because jeepney car is a big part of our culture. It's better to have and create an alternative parts installed that can lessen the pollution and to give good service in our commuters.
The next topic is speech about concepts. Speeches about concepts focus on beliefs, ideas, and theories, while speeches about objects, processes, and events are purely concrete. Speeches about concepts are more abstract. Concepts provide us with a fundamental representational relation to aspects of reality, even when we do not fully comprehend them. Some examples of topics for concept speeches include democracy, Taoism, principle of feminism, the philosophy of nonviolent protest, and the Big Bang Theory. One of the examples is Taoism. Taoism is a Chinese movement. It's not a doctrine, neither a system of belief, but it's something closely related to a personal experience. It is a style of living and a way in which the world is seen.
That will be all for the types of informative speech. And let's proceed to the ways in organizing informative speech. The first one is chronological speech. Main points are delivered according to when they happened. Arranging main points in chronological order can be helpful when describing historical events to an audience, as well as when the order of events is necessary to understand what you wish to convey. If you intend to describe a process or discuss changes and developments, consider using the chronological arrangement which involves sequencing of events or steps. For example is the wedding program. According to program, the wedding ceremony will start at 3 p.m. After this, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. is for dance, taking photos, and enjoying food.
The next topic is spatial speech. A spatial speech pattern arranges information according to its physical location or relationship. This pattern is best used when your main points are oriented to different locations that can exist independently. The basic reason to choose this format is to show that the main points have clear locations. For example, the White House. The speech could begin by describing the entrance of White House and then discuss the various areas of White House by moving through them in a clockwise pattern.
Thank you guys for letting us to explain the types of informative speech.
In the first two ways in organizing informative speech.
Hope you learned something from us. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Let's proceed to the next topic, which is the categorical and topical. Cause and effect. Lastly, the comparison and contrast. We have here Riza and Jenny live at Mall of Asia. Riza and Jenny.
Thank you, Angelica. Good day, nation. Welcome to LC News. My name is Jenny.
And I'm Risa, and we are here today to give further explanation about other types of informative speeches.
Categorical or topical. So first, the categories function as a way to help the speaker to organize the message in a consistent fashion. So second, the goal of a categorical or topical speech pattern is to create categories of information that go together to help support your original and specific purpose. So for further information, these speech patterns aim to group together pieces of information to support your initial and focus intent. So why do we need these to organize informative speeches? This used when each main point is equally important and can be placed in any order without changing message. And it stresses natural divisions in a topic. For example, why certain cities are good to live in, why we should vote for a particular candidate for president.
Types of the topic, the cause and effect. Typically, with this pattern, you would have the two main points. Example, dangers of alcohol drinking. One focuses on the causes of an event, and the second about this effect, cause and the effects of abortion.
Comparison or contrast. This pattern clearly lends itself easily to two main points. By this, you can also create a third point by giving basic information about what is being compared and what is being contrasted. While these speech patterns alternate way for grouping important points is as follows, although this pattern obviously lends itself to two primary themes. You may also add a third by providing a summary of the comparisons and contrasts being made. Here's some examples. Summer is much hotter in Pangasinan. Manila has a mild summer, but Pangasinan has a hotter one. Manila differs from Pangasinan by having a hot summer.
Well, that's all we have today. Again, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jenny.
Back to you guys.
Thank you for that. Now, let's proceed to the next topic. We have here Santos Cortita, who will give us the headlines for his topic.
Thank you, Yuri, and welcome to LC News for today, March 2023. My name is Santos III, and I'm here to explain about the speech of convince and speech of actuate.
Persuasive speaking is a type of speaking that most people engage the most. Am I right? So let's talk about the types of persuasive speech. Speech to convince. In this type of speech, no direction action is needed from the audience. Its focus is to change attitude and perception. In order for you to convince your audience, you need to establish common ground. They need to feel directly connected to the problem. Think about you having common with your audience. Their values, interests, your experience, which they can relate to you. You have to be some convincing since this speech makes your audience agree. For example, with my experience and passion, I believe I could be a great leader. I promise to do my best to curb bullying, increase the student interest in the school, and increase overall academic achievement. As you can see, this letter is a student council speech. It is an example of speech to convince, in which the student convincing his and her schoolmate to vote for her. This gives your classmate the incentive to vote for you and shows you want to position as an opportunity to help others. Speech to actuate. In this type of speech, an action is needed from the audience. It is a speech which attempts to make the audience to do something to move to them to action. Some example of this is political rallies, fundraising appeals, and sales agents convincing you to buy their products, and so on. As you can see on the screen, this is an example of speech to actuate, where a politician who asks for their vote during the elections, in which the politicians convincing or encouraging the people to vote for him and her.
That will be all. Thank you for letting me to explain about the speech of convince and speech of actuate. I hope that you learned something for me, and back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Gordita. Let's proceed to the next topic. We have here speech to inspire, one of the types of persuasive speech. We have here Jefferson live at Buraka. Jefferson?
Thank you, Angelica, and welcome to LRC News. For today, March 2023, this is Jefferson, and I am here to explain the speech to inspire.
Speech to inspire. A motivational speech is a kind of public talk that is used to inspire the audience to make a change in their lives and achieve a better life. An example of a public speaker is a businessman who shares his story about the start of his journey and how he became successful. For example, Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world. Elon runs a prosperous business. Some people who desire to succeed in some way find inspiration in his achievements. For a significant proportion of the current generation, his speech on the step to becoming a successful entrepreneur serves as inspiration.
That will be all. Thank you for letting me to explain the speech to inspire. Back to you guys.
Thank you for that. Now let's proceed to the next topic. We have here May Kanya, who will give us the headlines of her topic.
Welcome to LLC News for today, March 2023. My name is May Kanya, and I'm here to explain about debates and public argumentation. This type of persuasive speech usually includes two parties proving their sides. One is pro, one is con. Every argument or claim of each party should be supported by evidence to strongly persuade the audience to believe their stand. It can also be in a different form where many people in one group have their own different stand. One of example of this is the debate about abortion. One party is in favor of it and one is against. So for them to prove their stand, they should provide facts and strong evidence to make people be in favor of their stand. That will be all. Thank you for letting me to explain the debates and public argumentation. We hope that you learned something from me. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Next is persuasion process. We have here Afaya live at Davao.
Persuasion, the process by which a person's attitude or behavior are, without the rest, influenced by communications from other people. One's attitudes and behavior are also affected by other factors. For example, verbal threats, physical coercion, and one's psychological states. Persuasion or persuasion arts is an umbrella term for influence. Persuasion can influence a person's beliefs, attitudes, intentions, motivations, or behaviors. Persuasion is studied in many disciplines. What is persuasion used for? Persuasion is the process of convincing someone else to carry out an action or agree with an idea. In the workplace, persuasion is used to sell products, recruit team members, and increase productivity. To convince somebody, persuasion is the act of persuading someone to do something or to believe that something is true. Here's some examples of persuasion scenarios. A friend tries to persuade another friend to go out in a text message. The friend is convincing the other friend, and that's persuasion. Another example of persuasion. An employer tries to persuade a prospective employee that a salary offer is the best they are going to get. That's negotiation. Here's another. A public speaker tries to convince an audience that a social issue is important and urgent. That is public speaking.
Before we proceed to our segment, which is the last part of this recording, let us hear first the example of persuasive speech.
And also, we're going to show you an example of an informative speech. Dear netizens, we are in modern times where we live in a world of social media. It has become a trend that everybody wants to be part of, and I don't disagree with it. The social media has brought us to something like a free space where we can do mostly whatever we want. How the citizens become netizens just by seconds. We do face conveniences and dilemmas regarding this, don't we? In some aspects, we value this for our lifestyle and purposes. As we live in a physical environment, we do recognize that we're all part of organizations and institutions. We practice different ways to exercise our rights and freedom. We are observed to be responsible enough as individuals and as a nation. We follow rules and regulations, laws, and normality. That's what we must do as part of a physical community. But relating to the non-physical community, are we still able to expand these manners? You know, I see no reason for humans to not have any of these responsibilities, even on social media. The social media has been a tool used for manipulation and abusing rights and privileges by its users and consumers. We can see vividly the potential for unwanted crime and illegality in this manner. Instead of using this social media with terms and agreements properly, abusers and uneducated netizens still find their way to be toxic in any form. Isn't it exhausting to live in an unhealthy physical environment while also spending a lot of time in an unhealthy social media environment too? You know, it really highlighted the fact that we also fail to support and create a healthy environment, even on a social media platform. Let's stop this toxicity by starting to become educated, well mannered, and responsible individuals. We were also in control in the first place, and we still have control over the change. There could always be a time for awareness and advancement. Let's make every world a representation of what humanity really is. Thank you.
Innovation. What do we mean by innovation? New idea, creative views, new judgments, in the form of device or method. Innovation is frequently seen as the presentation of better elucidations that meet new requirements, unarticulated desires, or existing market needs. Such innovation takes place through the provision of more effective products, processes, services, technologies, or business markups that are made available to markets, governments, and society. And innovation is something original, something that is unique. Today, almost all people are getting hooked to basically any form of media. According to a study, Philippines is in a stage of urbanization. However, we need to go back to the past so that we can see the difference or various development that our nation have surpassed in the years of overcoming such inevitable changes. In the past, people didn't have any of the gadgets that we have today. They did not use any technology. People are just using their strength for completing their tasks and jobs. Imagine how hardworking they are compared to us right now. We cannot even complete a day without scrolling through our feeds. How about studying or attending school? Students back then read and browse their books because they were not able to access any of computer or technology that they can use to make their homework or studies faster. In present times, we have computer, gadgets, and a lot of technology making our lives easier, more convenient, and faster. The wheels were invented to move things like goods around without having to carry them. The horse or oxen pulled plow was created to help us grow more food. The cars were made to help us get from one point to another quicker. Innovation starts with an eye. We must be the change against the society. So before you complain, look into yourselves, for we are all part of this country. Innovation begins with us, the people who inhabit the nation. If no one will accept the wonderful changes, then who will? You just have heard the latest news around the globe. Again, this is Angelica Silvestre with LLC News. News with no bias, news with no exemption, delivering nothing but the truth. This have been Angelica.
And I am Yuri, bringing you the latest news around the globe. Thank you for being with us.